Ronor Zoro right now is engaging in the legendary, the infamous, the almighty cross-bandage sword style. He has become biblical, and that's impressive.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Very impressive. Sanji has been utilizing that sword very well. It's very potent. But eventually, it's safe to say, later on this arc, he will come out of his cocoon, and the butterfly, that is one Ronor Zoro, will emerge. So the question is, what is Zoro's next move? Because this arc, you can say, I think it still applies, that he is the second most prominent character, or at least most prominent Straw Hat after Luffy. So what is Zoro's next step after he comes out of his cocoon? And it depends on a lot of different things, obviously. Clearly it does. But one of the things that depends on is something that maybe folks aren't thinking about, which is the acts themselves. We're still in Act 3. We're still in Act 3 right now, which means to me, there's a strong case, I think, that there won't be an Act 4 and Act 5. Or if there's an Act 4, it'll be a very short act to like wrap things up, basically. That's my guess. But the more acts there are, the more time for the would-be Zoro greatness, obviously. So that does matter, obviously. And the second thing that matters a lot for the future of Zoro is clearly Chopper. How well Chopper can heal Zoro. Of course it depends on Chopper, but keep in mind that after he was holding back the combined attack of Big Mom and Kaido for a few seconds, almost all of the bones in his body were broken. If not for Law saving Zoro, Zoro would have died. That was a big boy attack. That was a big, huge D, mammoth D attack. Just, baby arm, baby leg, no, baby body. That's how big, ooh, that was a crazy attack.
What's wrong with you?
And Zoro blocked it for a period of time. Very impressive, but the end results were clear. And also, after he blocked the attack, we know that Kaido did some low blows on some Rick Flair status, just right for the groin. And when he was down and out, hit him with the, I guess, a Thunder Bagua of some kind. So Chopper has to do, it depends on Chopper, obviously, on how good job he does on healing Zoro. But remember this too, Hawk gets his prophecy. He said a 19% chance in them being alive. Now, it's not really clear if he means Luffy or Zoro or both of them. Not clear at all. But it's safe to assume that at the end of Wano Country, Zoro's condition will be pretty grievous. And obviously you can see Zoro's current condition is nothing to scoff at. though I am scoffing right now. The only person that can really come in there and actually help out Zoro immediately, I think, to recover a lot of his, I'm not gonna say like fully recover, but a lot of his broken bones to where he can be fighting again, would be probably Marco. Because right now, Law's with Kid fighting against Big Mom. And that is going to require all their attention. That is without question. When Big Mom's on point, Big Mom is on point. Respect the big one. She is all woman. So there's 3 OP doctors in this arc. Chopper, Law, and Marco. And Marco is right now probably, we don't see it, but he's probably fighting against the person that a lot of folks theorize was going to be Zoro's main fight going into this arc, which is King the Wildfire. So one of the major paths that Zoro could take right now is the Marco King plotline, where we know that Sparrow has his eyes on Marco, but Sparrow just got blasted by Sanji via Queen. So Sparrow, I think, has eyes for Marco, but also keep in mind that Neko's coming in too against Sparrow. But Sparrow may come in there at some point in a small window of time to derail Marco in some capacity. And then if that happens, King is kind of like left out in the open to do whatever the hell. Now, there's a chance that Zoro can be healed enough to take on King the Wildfire. Or it could be the case where it's Marco and Zoro, so it's a 2-on-1. So when we saw Marco carrying Zoro, maybe now we see the image of Zoro riding Marco, and that winds up becoming Marco and Zoro versus King the Wildfire. Something of that sort. And again, there's more of a likelihood that with Marco's abilities, he can heal Zoro quicker than someone like Chopper could. Now that may weaken Marco, obviously, but a 2-on-1 against King the Wildfire would be relatively appropriate, especially when Peril Sparrow's in the fray, which could wind up being a 2-on-2. So it gets a little bit trickier there, because Peril Sparrow, how it comes to the fray, is going to be a bit weird, obviously. King the Wildfire and Marco is probably still going on, but we're not too sure at this point in time. And then obviously, lastly, will be Zoro's condition going into that fight / during that fight. So all these things are all out of variables, but they're all possibilities. So that is the first major path I see for Zoro at this point in time. The second major path would be Zoro's out of commission. Like, period. He's done for the rest of the arc. That's it. Until, let's say, Act 4. Let's assume Act 4, end Act 3, Act 5, whatever. Come the end of Wano Country, Zoro does nothing until then.
Kill me.
Where for the rest of this fight against Onigashima, Zoro is permanently out of commission. That's also a possibility. But then option number 3, I think it's also very, very likely, which is the Orochi plotline.
Here we go again.
The Orochi plotline is still there. Orochi's alive, like I theorized. Still alive, not dead. Oda had established plot points in the past, in Act 2, with Zoro and Hiri and Orochi. In particular, Hiri wanting to kill Orochi. And Hiri was probably the person that was with the Scabbards when they were teleported by Law to safety in the, I think it's called the storage room. Yeah, I believe so. That was probably Hiri. Because to this day, we still don't know, very important, we still don't know who the shadow was behind Robin and Jinbei when they first arrived on Onigashima. We still don't know. So there is a possibility where Hiri, a good possibility actually, where Hiri is on the island. We haven't seen her yet. She's doing God knows what. And also maybe Caribou. There's options there. There's options there. But Hiri is probably the one that was there. Zoro and Hiri plotlines still exist. Therefore, we finish that up now that Orochi's alive. And yes, he's still alive because even though we see the Scabbards in the hallway when they pass by Orochi and he transforms into the Orochi, and then we see, I believe, 6 heads cut. He has 8 heads total. And we're going to assume that that's his ability. Maybe Fukurokuji plays a role in that too. Maybe he does. It's unclear. But right now it's fighting against Raizo. But when I counted the heads, when the Scabbards cut off Orochi's heads, I believe it's 6 heads that get lobbed off. And then when you include the one that was cut off by Kaido, that's 7 heads. So there's still 1 head left of Orochi, in theory. So Orochi's probably still alive, still well. Which means that Zoro and the Hiri and Orochi plotline must be finished. And I think there's a good chance that Orochi, if he's going to be defeated by Zoro come the end of it all, and Hiri in tow as well, I think there's going to be a good chance that this happens in front of a crowd, in front of an audience. Because Onigashima is now hovering over the land itself. And at some point, it's going to reach near the Flower Capital. Absolutely. So I can see Zoro taking down Orochi and Hiri in tow in some way, shape, or form in front of the audience, from the crowd of the Flower Capital. Something of that sort. And also, it's unfortunate to say this, but it's true. It is the plotline that Oda's established with Zoro that has the most character components for Zoro's character this arc. Zoro hasn't gotten much character-wise this arc. He really hasn't. Combat stuff, absolutely, without question. But actual character stuff, he's been shockingly lacking in this arc. Even the stuff involving Zoro's lineage, which I believe was the Shimotsuki, I could be wrong on this one, but I believe it was the Shimotsuki stuff. That stuff Oda elaborates in a SBS. That stuff that obviously ties into his hometown in East Blue, how he learned the phrase Snatchu from the old guy, or from the old guys there. All these things that could be really good for Zoro's character, for his character development and character growth, potentially, his character growth, none of that's been there in this arc. There was some stuff with Yasue, but I mean, when I say some, I'm being very generous here. There's almost nothing. So again, for this arc, there's been not a lot for character for him, for Zoro. But with the Hiri stuff, I think that there's still opportunities there for Zoro to get some character development and character growth. And also, because we know that Luffy is going to return to the fight, after he talked to Momonosuke with the voice of all things. This does once again lessen the possibility of what a lot of Zoro avid fans want, the ZKK, the Zoro kills Kaido. And the fact that Orochi, again, Orochi's probably still alive, that also lessens that as well. Because at the end of the day, the person to defeat the first Yonko will not be Zoro. There's a good chance, there's a very, very, very good chance it won't be Zoro. It's going to be Monkey D. Luffy. But Zoro still needs some massive notoriety in Wano country, obviously. And one of the ways you do that is by, well, killing the Shogun of Wano country in front of a very large crowd of people, which would give Zoro a lot of notoriety and prestige. And one of the legends of Wano country is the swordsman Ryoma. So Zoro having his own legend in Wano country makes sense as well. And I think you do that by killing the Shogun, the evil tyrant Shogun of Wano country, in front of everyone. Once again, we have the Marco King stuff, we have the No Man's Land stuff, which is just nothing, and then you have the Orochi stuff, which I think is very, very likely because we have those plot points already established. In fact, you can argue Path 1 and Path 3 can all be part of the same path, but just a longer path, essentially. Possible. But we only have, at this point in time, again, Act 3. More acts equals probably more Zoro greatness. Less acts, less Zoro greatness. So we'll have to wait and see how things flow. So that being said, guys and gals, let me know your stance on the subject matter at hand. I'm going to see y'all later. Take care. Stay safe. Have a nice one.